We are back here with another huge episode, Dan to Dan, Season 2, Episode 3. We start this episode with continuing on with the clash. Ken gets overpowered by Evil Eye, he resorts to picking up Momo and running away. Momo and Ken make it towards the top, not fully out of the hole, they're still down there with the homes. They notice that the worm is actually pumping in poison. While both of them sit there and try to plot, Ken remembers something that he read, that worms are actually weak to sunlight. A transition of a really nice moment happens. Ken wants Momo to escape alone, and Ken in return will get Gigi and come back up. Using a chair, Ken is able to use his legs, sort of like a slingshot, while Momo uses her power as well to help control the trajectory, just like a rocket making her way up out of the hole. Soon after Momo makes her way up, this is where Ken's down there and Evil Eye makes contact with them. Going back to Momo, a part of the plan was actually for her to find a way to pull him out, which she doesn't have anything long enough. So instead, she gets this idea back from her childhood to stop this worm's poison. She ends up burning Gigi's home and getting firefighters to come and put it out. And this is where we cut to the opening. Once we come back, we're thrown into the Ken versus Evil Eye fight. A lot of balls being kicked and Ken dodging, but something we notice is there's some sort of extra power that Evil Eye has. I believe he has a third eye on his forehead. He's able to control these balls also that way. While Evil Eye is using that power, eventually one of them hits Ken straight in the face. He's clearly very weak, and Evil Eye takes out another power unexpectedly. He puts Ken into a prison cell that he can't get out of. It kind of screams, so it's similar to the origin story of Evil Eye as well. Following that, Evil Eye goes inside this cell and begins to beat Ken furiously. Evil Eye is talking his usual smack, talking about how he's going to torture Momo and all that. All of a sudden, Ken loses it. He grabs the face of Evil Eye, and Ken starts listing what's making him upset. First of all, you hit Momo. Second of all, you took my dear friend Gigi. Evil Eye was just about to go back to beating the crap out of Ken when all of a sudden, Ken comes down and he shoots up with a clean double uppercut. This is where Ken goes full throttle. He hits Evil Eye over and over with a fury of 19 punches till finally he gets to 20. There was so much force that it actually broke the prison and made Gigi's body fall down, because of course Evil Eye collapses after that. Ken is standing, and then all of a sudden he kind of collapses down. After a little bit of time passes, Ken is able to get back up, and he's having to drag Gigi's body. All of a sudden he hears something, and it turns out to be Turbo Granny. She's stuck inside the goo. Ken goes to try and help her, but he ends up getting stuck as well, which was kind of funny and silly at the same time. Finally, we go back to Momo, and the firefighters have actually arrived. This is where she feels like they're not doing enough, so she starts yelling, "Hey, can you spray some more?" Everyone up there is just trying to get Momo to calm down. All of a sudden, though, a earthquake begins to happen. That's when the worm comes out of the ground. A moment plays, the same one where Momo got her idea to get rid of the worm. This is where Gigi is teaching her about how worms have to breathe their skin, and whenever there's water, they can't breathe, so they have to come up, and when they're exposed to sunlight, well, boom, it causes this worm suicide. I don't know how important this is, but Momo throws the fire truck at Gigi's home as the worm is starting to burn away from the sunlight. Kind of random, but Momo starts playing with the worm as it's basically dead at this point, and it comes alive for a second, it throws up, and a part of what it throws up is actually the Keto family, which is interesting. The Keto family warn Momo about what she's done. Soon after, we have another earthquake, and this time a volcano eruption along with it. And in this episode, we get a closer look. Not only is the volcano erupted, but it also appears that there's some sort of clouds and lightning as well. All I can say is this is Dan to Dan. It is an epic adventure full of aliens and spirits. You never know what is going to happen next. And certainly, me seeing Ken get stuck again has to be one of the most random things, but the most Dan to Dan fashion possible. Now, this next episode, I feel like it's either going to hit or I may miss a little bit, just because this one felt really huge. So close to get that romantic scene, not quite there still. I don't mind that at all. If I had to rate this episode, I'm going to say it's a nice 9.4. Very enjoyable. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are on Dan and Dan Episode 3. I hope you stay safe, and until next time, peace out.